Begin with a Fox News alert. 25 people have been hospitalized after severe turbulence forced Delta airline flight from Salt Lake City to Amsterdam to divert to Minneapolis.
Chanley Painter joins us now with what we know so far.
Hey, good morning. It was scary. Passengers saying everything was flying through the air inside that airplane after the Delta flight encountered turbulence so strong it had to make an emergency landing in Minneapolis. Medical personnel met the 275 passengers and 13 crew members on the ground to evaluate any injuries. In all, 25 people were taken to local hospitals. At the time of the diversion, the Delta flight was en route from Salt Lake City to Amsterdam, but was forced to land around 2 hours into its 8-hour trip after encountering, quote, significant turbulence. One passenger on the flight described a sudden drop as flight attendants were in the aisle with those serving carts, saying this, quote, every one of them flew and hit the ceiling. The beverage carts also flew into the air. Any items that were loose in the cabin got thrown everywhere. The plane is a mess, covered in liquids and service items. And Delta has released this statement, quote, we are grateful for the support of all emergency responders involved. Safety is our #1 value at Delta, and our Delta care team is working directly with customers.
You guys get a $25 voucher
to support their immediate needs.
After turbulence shook the aircraft.
It encountered extreme turbulence at 37,000 feet, resulting in maintaining of altitude problems.
The Airbus A330 met by a massive emergency response on the ground, and the passengers needing care.
It's a heavy Airbus, and they do have a medical emergency on board.
Delta Airlines releasing a statement saying in part, quote, 25 of those on board were transported to local hospitals for evaluation and care. The effects of the scary turbulence seen inside the plane. Passengers posting
what, that, a wine bottle?
Online about their experiences tossed around the plane's cabin. It comes after several incidents involving turbulence, including last month when 5 people were taken to the hospital after an American Airlines flight experienced unexpected turbulence, landing safely in North Carolina. Now, passengers grateful to be on the ground so soon after that turbulent time in the skies.
They're now safely down on the ground and they can attend to the needs that they need.
Here's some more pictures from the inside. Now, you guys tell me, what's the craziest, most turbulent flight you've ever had? I've never really had, I mean, I've had a little shake. Thankfully, I've never had anything too crazy because, you know, I'm paranoid about planes and stuff. I had some shaking, whatever, but I've heard of stories where the plane has dropped a couple of 100 feet, even 1,000 feet. And it can be scary. The other thing I ever had was like there was a plane that we were waiting on. We're about to get on the plane. They had to switch out the plane. They said it wasn't working. And there was this lady standing there with me. And she tells me, that's a sign. That's a sign. I'm not getting on that plane. And so everybody was waiting. Everybody was drinking. We're going bar hopping, restaurant hopping. And when they finally got the new plane, I never saw a lady. She literally canceled her flight and left. So, just crazy, but thankfully I've never, and then there was one time some guy had like a medical emergency, somewhat of an emergency, but they, we just got there a little bit faster and that was it. The medics helped him when he got out. But I truly haven't had like a crazy flight experience. And maybe that's for a good reason, because maybe I'd never fly again. I don't know. Big guys, comment down below, let me know your thoughts. And the good news is that as we've talked about it, the scientists say that these things are, you're safer in the air. Let's just say that you're safer in the air than you are driving. And if this was kind of recent too, a Southwest plane made a mid-air maneuver to avoid a collision, like some crazy ass maneuver.
That Southwest flight.
Tom, this happened at 14,000 feet as the Southwest plane was climbing out of the Burbank airport headed for Las Vegas. A source with knowledge of the event says a Hawker Hunter, a vintage British fighter plane, came dangerously close to the Southwest plane, setting off collision warnings and forcing Southwest to take evasive action. Tonight, a pilot forced to make a dramatic dive mid-air to avoid a potential collision with another plane.
I've never felt anything like that
And I turned to the people that I was flying with, and I was like, I don't want to die.
It's a wrap for us.
I was terrified. I thought this was it. I thought this is how I go out.
It happened on Southwest Airlines Flight 1496 from Burbank, Southern Cal to Las Vegas. Southwest says its pilots got 2 TCAS alerts, terrain collision avoidance systems, serious warnings that they could soon collide with another plane and must change their flight path immediately. The pilots climbed, then descended, according to the airline. Steve Ulazwis was on board.
That there was this large drop. I want to say it lasted for 8 to 10 seconds. Just complete free fall.
Oh my gosh.
Like out of my seat, body out of my seat.
Oh my God.
People were screaming. Just felt like pandemonium.
2 flight attendants are being treated for injuries. Ulazwis says he saw one of them.
She looked disoriented. Her hair was kind of all of a mess. And they sat her down at the front and gave her an ice pack.
No passengers injured. The flight continued on to Vegas, where Southwest says it landed uneventfully. It's the latest close call in the skies. Just last weekend, this video from the North Dakota State Fair captured a Delta regional jet banking and diving to avoid an Air Force B-52. And on Monday, an Aeromexico plane landing in Mexico City narrowly avoided a collision with a Delta flight cleared to take off from the same runway. Tonight, Ulazwis says he's just happy he's safely on the ground.
Tom joins us again live. Tom, quite the moment.
It seems like you're literally just rolling the dice with these flights and hoping for the best. You know? Anyway, I love you guys. I'll catch you later. Bye. Bloop, 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 bloop. Subscribe. Bye. Boop.